It is time. Shark's in order. Our shark.
There's a Sharknado coming!
Dragon sharks?
Are those sharks with laser beams attached to their heads?
Welcome to the
Sharks!
So, welcome to the number one movie podcast, broadcasting from 20,000 leagues under the sea, from Tokyo Bay to the UK coast, from east to west of the US and south of the border. We thank you for tuning in. We are back to our regular scheduled show that will drop every Thursday night at 8 p.m. You can find all our material on YouTube at Real Sharks, or our blog on WordPress at Real Sharks, of course, and on Spreaker and Anchor FM. So let's get started with the great show that we got going on. Today we're going to be discussing some Jurassic Park updates. We're going to be discussing the Green Knight trailer and the Venom 2 trailer, Semi-Pro, and some other fun stuff, like we're going to be doing some giveaways, so stick around for that. So let's just try to hang out and get away with some stuff tonight, guys. So let's go ahead and get started with today's show. All right, so how are we all doing today? You guys are on mute.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, man, pretty good, bro.
Doing good. Doing good. Doing good.
So I am drinking right now a Long Island iced tea. What are you drinking, Lucas Maximus?
I'm drinking a Miller Lite.
Gotcha.
I'm drinking nothing.
And you still have a bitter beer face.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
Ah.
Same as me, drinking nothing.
Yeah, but you know, at least you can. You at least, like, when you have a beer face, you know, you look good, man. You know, you can't teach that. You can't teach that. So, let's go ahead and kick it off with some movie news. Let's go ahead and do the movie news. All right.
Well, with the states in the United States, I should say, slowly opening up, it seems that people are regularly attending movie theaters. I wouldn't say normally, but getting closer and closer to that. I just went to see a movie, and it wasn't that bad because I was the
Did you
only
get COVID?
person in it. No, I couldn't get COVID for myself because I was the only person there.
Oh.
I think like one other person was there, but it might have been a movie critic because he was like in a suit. It
Oh,
kinda-
was he?
Yeah.
They're loving this. Yeah, they're loving this. Actually, I would be loving this too. I need to go. I got my vaccination and everything, so I got my papers.
Your papers, please.
I got
You know-
my papers and a papiera beta. Papers, please. I got
I
my
mean,
papers.
when I went to go see Mortal Kombat, I mean, there was probably 4 other people in there, so it was kind of nice not to be crowded in there. It was kind of like quiet too.
I just think, you know, on a side note, it's such a shame that we have to give up our individual freedoms and rights to carry around a piece of paper that shows that we've been vaccinated. I mean, my God, what are they asking of me?
Too much.
Too much. That's right. That's the
Too
answer.
much.
Too much is the answer. So, let's just get some announcements out of the way. We hope you guys have enjoyed our last couple media drops lately. Our videos, we did the Tucker Williams Casino special. We did the, Let's Talk About series with the Twilight of the Cockroaches and BC Rock, which, you know, guys, now that I'm thinking back on that, I think we might have been fooled, because after a while I started thinking about it. I was like, I wonder if BC Rock actually stands for Big Cock Rock. And with how dirty that film was, I was like, it wouldn't surprise me. But that's just what we get suckered into. And hey, if you want to hear your commercial ads on this program, make sure you guys email us at realsharkstalkshow@gmail.com. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with... So talking about how Dave Bautista says that Army of the Dead is more political than people think. I say that's zombie for why.
Zombie
You know,
speak.
But for real, though, and, I totally forgot that Zack Snyder had his hands in the cookie jar in this one, and I'm kind of, as everyone knows on this show, I speak up for Zack Snyder when it comes to certain criteria, especially for... Shut up, Squid. Especially for Dawn of the Dead. I love his remake of Dawn of the Dead. I think he kind of revamped the zombie genre single-handedly there. But now I'm sitting here reading this and going, really, guys? Is it really? You're going to put the political bipartisanships in the zombies? What are the zombies going to do? Are the zombies going to vote? One side zombie says you can't vote, the other side wants tyranny. You tell me,
It could.
you tell me what the zombies want. Or maybe he's trying to emphasize that Trump supporters are zombies or Democrats. I don't know. I'm not trying to play sides. I'm just
or just
trying to
human beings in general, maybe. Human beings are like just
Maybe.
zombified people that just follow, whatever it is. Because zombies, what do? They follow like sounds. They follow like, and they all move in a herd. So maybe something along the lines of that.
Well, what's interesting about this one, and no, Steve, you're insanely wrong. Is this one will actually follow Batista in Guardians of the Galaxy, apparently, as his group of all-star mercenaries. They attempt to do a massive heist underneath the Las Vegas Strip as the city is teeming with zombies. So far, the army. So that's the story. So they're doing a heist underneath Las Vegas. So it's Ocean's 11 meets Dawn of the Dead.
Basically, no.
Hit it, Squid.
Scott.
Hit it, Squid. Dun,
It
dun,
is.
dun. Where's my dun, 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 Squid? You're usually right on cue.
Dun,
God.
dun, dun.
There you go. There you go.
Well, and I know some people are going to be mad about that. So I would say, I mean, I guess it's got to be, wait and see to what they're talking about. Because Sam Raimi's not attached to this, correct?
No,
No.
Zack Snyder, actually.
Zack
Yeah.
Snyder. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Well, it's going to be garbage then. I have not seen it yet. The reviews have been slowly trickling in for what's the Army of the Dead movie.
Army of the Dead, yeah. That's the one we're
Army
talking
Army of
about.
the
Yeah.
Dead.
Been trickling in. There's been a lot of as far as I can tell, the general consensus has just been that it's it's a dumb zombie movie, pretty good for what it is. So,
I don't even think it's good for
so
that.
I guess we'll probably see one way or the other. But if Zack Snyder is going to try to make a political movie involving the Army of Darkness, I think I'm not very optimistic about what he's going to try to do with that. So, yeah, I can't really
Who
think about it.
knows?
Sort of.
You might see something in it that reflects yourself and makes you have a better perspective on the
Better
outside
perspective?
world. 'Cause this is
Yeah.
dead in the water already to me. You took like a beloved genre, Army of the Dead, which is incredible on its own,
Yeah.
and then you just you fucked it up.
And you go like, I
Pretty
like
much.
that movie Italian Job. Combine them.
Right. Zack Snyder was like, he's like, guys, I don't know if you ever heard of this film. It's called Ocean's 11. He's like the only one that's heard of it, and everyone's like, yeah, Zach.
No.
Like, yeah, and he's just like, well, it had Brad Pitt in it, right? He's like, I was reading that Pride and Prejudice with zombies, and I was thinking to myself, we could do that with Army of the Dead.
He's all
But-
whispering because tell no one about this film, okay? You're the only person who knows.
Sure.
Takes a zombie movie, right, for us to as
Exactly.
a society to come together. That's the answer.
Right, that is always the answer.
Mhm.
So, moving on to Jurassic Park news. I don't know if you knew this, Luke, but apparently the world of science is catching up to Jurassic Park. And
Okay.
apparently the T-Rex cannot run at 45 miles an hour.
Yes, I heard about this. Yeah, the
So,
T-Rex might have
that-
been too slow.
Yep, so
Or-
basically, that whole part where the T-Rex is, chasing down the Jeep,
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't have happened.
that would have been, the T-Rex would have been like,
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum would have gotten away there. There wouldn't have been the whole "must go faster," that
Must go
infamous
faster.
scene wouldn't be there. And that kind of leads me into my 1 point. So for everyone who's actually tuning in today to find out about our Jurassic Park card giveaway, so all you have to do is send to us a video, TikTok, Instagram, doesn't matter, to our message at realsharkstalkshow@gmail.com. Just send us your best impression of a T-Rex roar, and you can win this pack of Topps Jurassic Park cards for absolutely free. We are paying the shipping. So this is going to be yours. Best T-Rex impression. Send it to realsharkstalkshow@gmail.com. And for all my Card Vault people who are here, and for everyone from Turnbuckle Classics too that's tuning in, our next 10 subscribers to Real Sharks and or the Card Vault will have a chance to win this jumbo card of Michael Jordan's back-to-back championships. Absolutely free. So you can win this. Just subscribe to our channel. Just hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Okay. So yeah, I had an interesting week. I guess this kind of goes in with movie news. I want to hear if my parenting is working, guys. So my son has played that video game called Among Us. So one day, do you guys know what Among Us is?
Yeah, I love Among Us.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay. So one day my son came up to me and he's like, "Hey Dad, people are telling me that Among Us is actually based off a movie." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "What movie?" And they're like, "The Thing." And I was like, "Oh, that actually makes sense." I was like, that makes total sense. So for about 4 months now, he's been wanting to watch The Thing. And I'm like,
really?
You are too young, my man. I'm like, you are just way too young. And so I thought I'd at least gear him up for it. So we decided to watch the other day The Faculty, which I absolutely love. I absolutely love that movie. Starring what is it? Mr. Frodo Baggins, Elijah Wood, and Josh Hartnett. And what I like about this movie, for anyone who's never seen it, aliens take over a school. It's exactly Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Master. They even quote that in the film, which I love. The fact that they're saying you are just watching a remake of that. So I essentially want, and they even do recreate that moment in The Thing when they're all sniffing the scat. That is exactly The Thing. That's from The Thing when they're all doing the blood. I'll tell you what I know.
Right.
So and I gotta tell you guys, he absolutely loved it.
That's awesome.
Yes,
he loved The Faculty. He was like, "This is one of my favorite movies I've ever seen, Dad." He's like, "I absolutely love it."
Faculty is great.
Dude.
I think it's a very underrated horror. I think just the intro alone, when it cuts into that scene with, the offspring, the kids aren't all right, as the football kind of fades out of the fog in the fucking morning. Dude, that is a great shot just to start the movie. And the coach is just like, "All right, you bastards," and is just yelling at them.
Yelling.
Automatically kicks that atmosphere of, yeah, this is high school.
Or that, or the Pink Floyd, Another Brick in the Wall, when that's like when all the football players are getting like tackled, and every time they're getting tackled, they're like planting the bug or whatever, the alien thing in their ears.
Yeah, the bug. I always thought it was a bug.
It was an alien.
I also think another you really get the vibe for it, like that this is a 90s movie, because like a whole sub arc is about Elijah Wood trying and ultimately implying that he succeeds in fucking his teacher, and like that's like the heroic moment of the end of the movie. They're like, "Hell yeah, Elijah Wood."
Teacher? No, it was the girl. It was the typical cheerleader.
I thought it was
No, you're thinking of Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett,
Oh,
because he got he got held back or something, and then so he was like the edgy guy, and he was trying to.
It was still
You're right. You're absolutely right. I always said that too. I'm like, are they implying that the teacher and the kid are
like at the it's so
No, dude. Obviously they couldn't say it outright because then it'd be really weird.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what they were like. Hell yeah, Josh Hartnett. He's
Another good point there is I also hate too, and I explained this to my son because he absolutely hated the ending. Though he said, "I don't get why all the people changed. I couldn't tell that all the people why were all the people different?" And I was like, "That's a great point, son." I said, "That's terrible writing." I said, because the part where the girl I was like, there's even a part where the butterfly it shows where she actually like kisses the dude. Then there's a picture of a butterfly. Ooh, the gothic girl's coming out. So the gothic girl can't be goth. She has to be like wearing purple and pink now at the end of the movie to signify that, hey, she's changed to be a better person. It's like
to be.
did.
There was a lot of like forbidden love. There was a lot of like weird forbidden love side stories, like Luke was saying in this plot. You had Elijah Wood, the like overly nerdy kid, getting with like the most popular woman cheerleader.
Who even acknowledges
the
his
student
character.
teacher, yeah, the
She's like, you're a geeky
teacher
Stephen King
relationship. Yeah, and then the football guy, like you said, with the goth girl. It was like we had all these like weird subplots, and like you said, like I kind of get why your son didn't like the ending because everybody got what they wanted. Like the teacher was
everyone had a
Josh
change.
Hartnett at the end, like Luke was saying, like she just shows up to his game and he looks over like, you know,
she's
like
I want something cherry flavored. Because he offered the condoms. Yeah. That scene is pretty gnarly. So give me just a sec, guys. We're gonna go ahead and get going on our first impressions.
I love this. I've seen this like times already.
Oh really? Okay.
The trailer fucking owns.
I actually think it's pretty gnarly already from when it caught my attention.
Uh-huh.
Right off the bat.
Did you ever see the first trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did, but I thought this one was a good gnarly one.
Oh, is this the second one?
Like there was only the teaser.
Yeah.
And then of course COVID happened, so
that it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've seen like probably the first trailer. I didn't see this one.
Uh-huh.
That looks incredible.
Jesus.
Holy crap.
Uh-huh.
What?
This is exactly how the legend goes too.
Right.
Legend's so trippy and weird.
Another year nearly gone already.
Yeah.
A lot of money already being spent for this film. You could tell.
Uh-huh. And this is A24 too, so it wasn't that crazy. So.
Right. I think it looks incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Cinematography wise, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, this looks like what's his face?
Guillermo del Toro?
No. The cinematographer for Skyfall and Blade Runner 2049.
Oh.
Roger. It's on the tip of my tongue. Fuck.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know if this is him.
Roger. What was his name? Like Dinkins?
Roger Deakins.
Yeah, him. It does look like him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just looks like a really beautiful take on a fantasy.
Facing all of this.
Oh yeah, giants and whatever that lady is, and a fox that talks. Yeah, so good.
That is why Night does what he does.
Beautiful shots.
Incredible shots. All right, guys. So your impression of that trailer?
That's pretty good. Like, and I saw I guess what was the first trailer. I mean, it looked really good, but holy shit, does that make that movie look even more amazing? I want to go see it.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it.
I really want to go see it.
Thoughts on the cast?
I mean, I saw Joel Edgerton that's in it, and then I even looked at some of the other cast people in it.
Obviously, Dev Patel's in it. He's a pretty good actor.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't know if you guys saw the girl in white, Erin Kellyman. She was the bad girl, the bad guy in the new Captain America and Winter Soldier show. So she's getting her bigger break here with this movie. It looks pretty good. It looks promising. I like that they're
Sean Harris is in this movie too. I love Sean Harris.
Yeah,
He's
Sean Harris
from The King.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite films that came out a few years ago.
Right. I feel like you can appreciate that, Rob, that they're not flooding the market with AAA actors to catch your eye. They're kind of just going straight for like, no, we're going to go with the actual lore here. Looks pretty good.
You think so, Steve? All right, so let's go ahead and move into our next trailer, which is going to be the new Venom movie, Let There Be Carnage, which I think is probably already a lame title. All right. See it? Can you guys see that?
Yeah,
All
we
right.
can see it. The trailer to the trailer. See, I like this. This is kind of funny.
Let's call the whole thing off. Ta-da!
Yeah, I like the idea that Venom is just now this like really,
I just don't know about making Venom wonky, though.
really cracked out roommate.
Good evening, Eddie.
I feel like they already went so crazy in the first film that they need to. There's no sense in changing it. They got to go all the way
Yeah,
now.
but it's not Venom, you know?
I've been thinking
God.
about you, Eddie. Because you and I are the same.
Cliche music, but good.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
Never make. Who do we love?
Thankfully, his hair is not as stupid as like the end of the movie. Cletus is.
In the darkness, with the rescuer who never comes. Welcome back, Eddie Brock. It's been a long time.
Let's see that crazy Woody Harrelson wig that he's got going on.
Yeah, it's not as bad as when it was in the movie. It, like the last, just stupid, which is like wild.
Well, is it any? Is it?
It's a little bit.
Than,
It's bad. It's not
minutes of Venom sitting on a wall. At the
so
last
weird
30
that
minutes
they
of Spider-Man.
chose. It is weird that they chose to keep the hair. I know that like, but like you're already changing so much about Venom lore. Why do you insist on keeping the shitty wig? Just let Woody Harrelson be bald. Let it just be.
I don't think it would have worked.
Just let it be bald, Cletus Cassidy. Like what?
Yeah.
Who's mad? Who's
Yeah.
gonna be mad about that? Who matters, frankly?
Well,
I guess we're conflicted on this, huh?
I think they should have kept him with the acrylic hues. I mean, from the comics, even from the Spider-Man animated show, Cassidy had red curly hair. So,
okay, but that aside, let's talk
again,
about let's get right into the meat of it. Like, so obviously the problem people I'm guessing are having is
that one is the loneliest number, Steve.
Yeah, one is the lonely. Well, now not anymore with two CGI blob crazy monster thingies on the screen. Is it going to be like the first film all over again, where Venom just fights like a weird CGI monster looking like Venom type of thing?
I personally hate it already because I think, and this is going to be all I'm going to say about it, Venom is all I'm going to say about it, Marvel fans. Venom is one of the greatest villains of all time. Best villains of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And you just basically are trying to rewrite him to be like pseudo kind of good, to where it's not like he's bad. It's like, oh, he's just a misunderstood dude. You know? He just tries to live life like everybody else. He just has this fucking black alien blob that's just, taking over part of his body, and it's like a bad roommate. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sorry. It just, for me, it just, yeah.
Not feeling the new Eddie Brock, huh?
I'm not feeling that. It's like Deadpool. It's like, I love Deadpool. Always loved Deadpool. I like the movies. I just didn't like, let's drift him so far that he's a good guy again. It's like everyone knows who's a comic reader. Deadpool's a bad guy. He is a bad guy. He's a wonky bad guy, but he is a bad guy.
It's you know, it's kind of funny that you bring that up because they've fallen underneath the same anti-hero, quirky, let me break the fourth wall because it's hilarious.
Venom
type
wasn't
of thing.
like that. If Venom was like that in any other form, please tell me. But I never thought Venom was ever like that. I always thought he was just the arch nemesis of Spider-Man.
Yeah, Venom's always kind of. I mean, it's always dependent on the comic, and there've been always different variations. But like at his core, usually if you make Venom a protagonist, it's just like he's a bad guy who just fights like worse bad guys.
Right.
Like he doesn't have his only real one of his primary like redeeming qualities is that he isn't like inherently sadistic or like he just has a chip on his shoulder and he's a massive bully. So because his instincts aren't as complex, he's different from someone like say Carnage, who's a straight up serial killer with powers. So
He's
like
psychopath.
that's exactly it's okay if Brock, because Brock is just like an asshole dude who's let his power get to his head, versus someone like Carnage who's truly dangerous and then got like the worst
exactly. But this whole like anti-hero thing, I just don't think it's there for his character. I just the Joker's one thing. And that's what Joker kind of was the blurred line. You know what I mean? He wasn't an anti-hero either. But go ahead.
Yeah.
But like within the Joker, like it was a bad guy. Like that was a dude who got
he wasn't an anti-hero. There was that fine line to feel bad for him, though.
And that movie was like a true sort of like horror, like not a horror movie, but like a crime thriller. Like this is a story about fucking losing his mind.
Yeah, but there's still that fine line.
There's no in depth with there's no in depth. There's no in depth.
No, there is, because there's still that fine line of where you can feel bad for him. I mean, he's kind of in a way like every other Joe Schmo, blue collar kind of guy that loses his fucking mind. So in a way, you can relate to him though. But when it comes to like Deadpool stuff like that, he's just wonky. He's just a wonky bad guy, and it's like you're just gonna kind of make that complete turn and make him a good guy. Okay, but he kind of loses his, I think, that edge to him. If he's just a good guy that's just funny all the time, then he's just like another, Flash or any other guy that makes puns during
it's so crazy. Like we're talking about a sequel. We're talking about a Venom movie. Venom gets its own movie. He has a sequel now, so it's a franchise.
I like it.
And we're talking about like whether or not. It's like, what are we gonna say about it? We're just not that like hyped.
It's like another movie I like to quote. I'm just, she's just not that into you, and I'm just not into these Venom movies, guys. I'm just not. I mean, if you guys love them, I mean,
please. And I mean, it did really well when it first came out, and nobody was looking forward to it, and it looks like it did okay for what it was. So
because the Upgrade did it better.
Yeah,
the movie Upgrade beat it actually.
Upgrade. Yeah.
Upgrade beat it first.
Once again, everybody go see Upgrade.
Right.
Upgrade up.
Yeah.
Get the Upgrade and go see Upgrade. No, because we talked about Upgrade was just kind of that movie that was like, hey, that was pretty good, even though it was like a recycled story. It's been done over and over and over. It was still good
what
the
it
way
was.
it was executed. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Venom came out, and we were like,
damn,
this is kind of like Upgrade. They kind of did the same thing, really, but that's what it is. So let's go ahead and move into the our main topic today, which is we're going to be calling which is called Let's Talk About. So we're going to go ahead and talk about one of my favorite underrated comedies of all time, and it can actually be said to be called a almost is a meta movie, because it is based on true events in history, which is Will Ferrell's Semi-Pro. Who here has seen Semi-Pro? 2008 Semi-Pro.
I haven't.
Yeah, I remember.
I've seen it. It's in my movie collection with all my other Will Ferrell movies.
So for people who don't know what Semi-Pro is, it's about Will Ferrell, who plays Jackie Moon. He's the owner, coach, player of a basketball team known as the Flint Tropics, and they're actually a part of the ABA. And the ABA is actually beginning its merger with the NBA, which is a real thing that happened in the history of basketball. And of course, he finds out only a select few teams are going, his Tropics not included. So he runs this big, huge campaign to try and get his team into the finals, to get a winning season, basically to get more people to come to the games. And he runs a bunch of antics, and it's an underdog story of where overall though, it is a hilarious film. Set place in the 70s. I think it had a great cast. It had Will Ferrell, Woody Harrelson in it, Andre 3000, Maria Turney, Andrew Delay, Will Arnett was in this, Andy Richter. There was a lot of people in this movie. You had Matt Walsh, Jackie Earle Haley. You had a lot. But overall, though, I think it was really funny. It went really under the radar, though. And this was kind of I'm a quote Luke on this one too, because this is kind of because I actually went back and watched our old episode, The Land of Lost versus Land of Lost, because we got some comments on that on our old channel. On our channel, and I just want to say, I don't care what you people say. The remake movie was good. Don't care, but this is after that movie, Luke. So this is in the, I guess, would you say the Twilight era of Will Ferrell?
Of like, I guess of the Ron Burgundy clone films. I feel because first there was Anchorman, and then Ricky Bobby, and then Land of the Lost, and I think there were a couple of other
Step
films.
Brothers.
Step Brothers.
I think Step Brothers was a little bit after that, but there was an arc where Will Ferrell, he plays a pompous, high status guy who gets dropped down below and kind of changes but doesn't.
Right.
And I think Semi-Pro, I think Semi-Pro isn't quite as well remembered just because it kind of came at the tail end after Will Ferrell had done this shtick so much at this point. Then, of course, I think if Semi-Pro was after Land of the Lost,
right? Yes.
Also didn't do well at that point. At that point, Will Ferrell's style may have started to kind of wear a little bit thin, which is the trajectory of most comedy actors.
Yeah.
Most movie stars.
Yep.
It's
Rest
you get
in peace, Eddie Murphy.
Exactly. You get 3 to 4 absolute bangers, and then obviously as people want to keep putting you in movies, it just becomes diminishing. Rob Schneider was diminishing returns on day one.
Hey, Juice Bigelow, Mel Gigolo is awesome. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Semi-Pro.
It's a funny fucking movie, but but Schneider's shtick was tired that went out the gate.
Yeah.
I would also argue
here.
I would also argue that Deuce Bigelow would have been a good movie without Rob Schneider. They could have just put any other.
Wow.
I'm out.
Damn.
I know we're not. Yeah. Okay.
Semi-Pro before
You
we
didn't
get
watch the European Gigolo either, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, we're again back to Semi.
I
I digress. Semi-Pro. I just think there's some great jokes in Semi-Pro that actually kind of parody real life. For example, the ABA created a lot of the entertainment value that the NBA now has, such as shows at halftime, the slam dunk contest. A lot of that was the ABA's idea, which is in the movie when he's he has the team be the players, plus then he has them being the mascots, where he's all all right, everybody kick 1, 2, and they're all dressed up like Tropicana characters. I think that was a really good play on actual history, and some of the jokes were really good, like how he would get people to try and get to the arena. He's like, I, Jackie Moon, will wrestle a bear.
A bear.
And fun fact, that bear actually killed one of its handlers. Just want to let people know. That bear was in 2 movies, and actually there's a documentary on that bear because that bear killed one of its handlers. Yes.
Wow, really?
Yes, really. But we're not going to get into that because that is it's sad. But it happened.
But one of my favorite scenes, when he was doing that promotion, is the scene where Jackie Earl tosses the ball and wins, wasn't $500,000.
That is, and then that guy's trying to cash that big card for him.
Yeah, it's signed and everything. I could get my money.
Yeah. So yeah, here's the article. If anybody's interested, it is on Huffington Post entitled "Bear from Will Ferrell's Semi-Pro Kills Trainer." So yeah, his name was Dewey the Bear. That was his name, and Semi-Pro.
Oh, Dewey.
That Dewey.
So Dewey.
Strikes again. Before that, he also starred in a short version of The Grizzly Man. Sorry, Luke. But honestly, I think Semi-Pro is a good film, though. I honestly think it belongs, I think, higher up than what it's known for. I really don't think it's that, I mean, I know the other films that people watch with Will Ferrell, and they're like, that's cheesy or lame. I know the other ones they're talking about, but I just don't think Semi-Pro is that stupid. I just don't think it's that. I think it's actually fun. I think it's funnier than Anchorman 2.
Definitely.
That basing a like on an average sports movie, where does this lie in? Because it's a sports movie. It's heavily about basketball. It doesn't have a backdrop.
It is a basketball film.
And there's not a lot of like basketball comedy films. There's a couple. This falls in there, and I don't feel like it's out of place.
We were discussing it.
Yeah,
I feel we were discussing The Sixth Man with the Wayans brothers, which is another comedic basketball film, but not as funny as Semi-Pro.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like this is definitely better than like basketball. We also talked about that off air. That was horrible.
You went bad.
Basketball's awful.
Oh no, basketball is horrible, and it deserves nothing. But this is not that bad. I feel like it gets a lot of crap. It doesn't really get a lot of things because like Lucas said, man, like Will Ferrell had just pumped out so many films in the 2000s era, right? That was just one of them that people were like, yeah, he's making another one. Like,
right.
You're still like reeling off of it. Yeah, and he had like a really bad, like coming off of like that movie Kicking and Screaming. You guys remember that? Like there's just he wasn't really hitting so hard after that, you know what I mean, with his films. He wasn't really all that funny.
I've never seen Kicking and Screaming. I had no interest in it. I mean, I was so tired of Will Ferrell movies.
Yeah,
just kept pumping them out and out.
Yeah, proving my point,
dude. Like you need a break, and I like Semi-Pro, but in other hands, it was just okay. I love the jokes. I mean, don't get me wrong, the jokes are fantastic, but.
Name me another basketball comedy movie that's better.
Basketball comedy movie? Space Jam. No.
Look, just in it, Space Jam. There you go.
Space Jam is just a kid's film.
Yeah, but still.
It would still be up there, but I don't know. There's
another one.
There's Like Mike. That's
Steve, you bring that. What is with you in that film? You bring that movie up a lot,
bro. Like, how do you not say like you're gonna bring up those films? Not say that. Like, White Man Can't Jump. That's another one. Teen Wolf.
What was the one with Kevin Bacon we watched? The one that for our Kevin Bacon special.
Oh, the air up there.
The rip off of Mighty Ducks. That was so fucking racist.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon goes to Africa to save the black man.
What the fuck?
You've never seen this film?
No, what's it called?
The Air Up There. It's the same premise as Mighty Ducks, except with a manager who sees like this film of this guy in Africa, and he's in what's that famous tribe? Is it the Wachuti?
Something like that.
Yeah, they're the same tribe in Ghost of the Darkness. They're in every film. They're really famous for an clan. Anyway, he goes to their tribe and he basically like recruits them, and it's really funny. At first, the guy's like, "You came all this way from me," and he's like pretending like he can't shoot a ball, which is like the only good part. But then like he's like. And then, of course, there's another guy who wants to come in and prevent him from coming to the league. So they, of course, have a tournament. And then Kevin Bacon does, guess what? He gives his tribe, his team of poor Africans, does he give them shoes? Does he give them food? No. Does he give them housing? No. Does he give them a better means to live, Luke? No. He gives them basketball shoes.
Yes. Hell yes.
Because he was playing in like sandals. That's what he saw initially. Remember, Rob? He was like running around and he was doing all that in sandals.
But it's basically the Mighty Ducks, just with Kevin Bacon.
Yep,
the bacon.
African bacon. Luke, I hope you're looking up the movie, and I hope that's the face of being stunned by seeing a film that you.
I'm trying to just contemplate this. It's wild. I don't know if I want to see this movie or not.
You kind of have to, bro. It was like in the middle of the 90s.
Okay.
Just listen to our Kevin Bacon special. We went into it real deep.
Nice.
It's like one of the most like, when they talk about like, whenever I hear on the news about they portray the businessman as the bad guy or the evil white man, I'm like, The air up there.
Oh, the air up there. Oh, and not even just that. Like, let me just like put an icing on the cake for Luke here, and anybody else who hasn't seen the air up there. He dresses up like one of the tribe members. So I mean, like, you really want to see Kevin Bacon, this guy.
Luke's watching it right now. Look at his face.
Yeah, this,
He's like, oh my god,
that's the white guy. It's funny.
It is a funny film. But overall, though, let's go ahead and switch it back real quick. So overall, I would give semi-pro in a rating on just overall premise alone, and I'm going to go off overall, music, just comedy. I'm terrible at judging comedy because I laugh at everything. Overall, I give the movie 7.5 for what it is because I think it actually has good parody to history. I think it's quite funny. I think it's a good, clever idea. Music-wise, yeah, there is it's music in there, 6. And then comedy-wise, I give it a 7. I think it has some really funny jokes in it. Some of them that are played out, a little old, but overall, I thought it was funny. It has some 70s swinger comedy that we've all seen before,
Yeah.
like the guy seeing his wife getting banged by another guy.
rail, yeah.
Woody Harrelson. He's like, oh, this is kind of hot. He's like, and
yeah,
it's
he
like,
starts like
dude, not
jacking
cool.
off.
The guy that's sleeping with the other guy's wife is like, dude, that's not cool. And he's like, what? It's okay. It's okay. Just keep going, guys. it's like one of those situations where it's like reverse. It's like you're cheating and you're telling the husband like, hey, that's not okay to watch. That's not cool. That's not cool.
I'm looking at the photo, the poster for the air up there.
Yeah.
And,
Dude, is that just selling enough for you, Luke?
and I can't get over that this is an actual poster. This feels like something you would make to just be like, wasn't that just a fucking wild ass era? They were just like, this looks fake. This looks like I'm not 100% sure that this wasn't a fake movie.
No, we watched it. It was real.
Yeah, it was real, bro.
We're not just pulling your dick. Like, seriously, it was real. And for you, our audience, you heard it right here on the Real Sharks podcast. It does exist. It is actually real.
Yeah, it's such a bad poster too.
Isn't it just like a bunch of shoes and like him looking up
No,
at, like,
it's
shoes
just
or
like
something?
Kevin Bacon with like a very tall African.
That's right.
Like
with his
leaning
hand
on him. Yeah.
Who never did anything else in Hollywood, sadly.
Yep. After that film, unfortunately.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, semi-pro. I would have to give it a 7. It was a decent film. Not the best Will Ferrell, but not the worst. It just fits where it needs to be. Because later on that year, like they were saying, like didn't he make Step Brothers? So it just like completely dwarfed this film. So yeah, I mean, like it is good. It's good. It kind of fell throughout the wayside, and it's a good basketball comedy film. If you want to watch something sports and laugh,
Sports and comedy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. I guess I'd agree with you. 7. Music, I'd go 7 as well. Comedy, 6.5. I know. I didn't agree with you. It's a shock.
What? I just was just announcing the awkwardness of the dead air here to our audience. You can't have more than 3.6 seconds of dead air. It's a standard industry rule. You should know that. So I had to fill the dead air in. See, I did it again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been That Signal from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the Real Shark podcast, with your noblest of crews, the captains of Robs, his mate Steves, his Azamesa Squids, or as we like to say, the Cabin Boys.
Oh my god. We'll see you guys later.
And of course, the Maximus to the Lucas. The Lucas Maximus in California.
Have a good night, guys.
All right. So we thank you all for joining us. Make sure you listen, like, and subscribe to the Real Sharks podcast, or we will come out and we will haunt you.